Hello everyone, welcome back to International Marketing Strategy class. So today we are going to talk about two topics. Let us begin with the classes. Okay. So in the last class we have discussed about the nature of international marketing. So we have discussed all these points in the last class. Today, going further, we are going to discuss this another element in the another bit in your international marketing, that is forces or drivers of international marketing. Okay, what are the forces that make the company to go international? Okay, first one I have given here as a competition. Okay, so how competition will make any company to go international? So we are doing business in the domestic market. Okay, so in the domestic market also you face the competition, right? But if say if a similar company which is producing the same goods or services, so if it is going international and you are only selling that in only in the domestic market, so that would not be a better opportunity or a better advantage for your company. So because of the competition in the industry, if you see the competition in the industry who are, servicing in the same sector or producing in the same sector, so if you see that if the other company is growing, if the other company is expanding internationally, if you are not expanding internationally, so that would become a non-competitive advantage factor to you, and it will be a hindrance for your growth to a company. So for that purpose, you have to go international and expand your business. Okay, doing that, you can uh, capture the competitive advantage. Okay, how you can capture the competitive advantage? Uh, there are many ways I can say that lowering the cost first would be. Okay, lowering the cost means you can access to the cheaper raw material, labor. Okay, by outsourcing offshore. Like how cheap labors are available in India. Okay, all outsourcing business like call centers, BPOs. These all are they have extended those services through by capturing the competitive advantage, that is natural resource human, right? By taking an advantage, like that. So if you want to be competitive and you want to achieve competitive advantage of your company, so you have to think about the competition which is going inside the industry. So if the firms are going international, if you are not going international, if you're not taking any advantage of your diversification or a low cost opportunities, or accessing the new customers. Okay, like what I was saying, I was giving this example of developing countries and developed countries, right? So let me go back to that slide where I was have shown you in the this. Okay. So what we have to do to access to the new customers, like how economy is growing in countries like China and India. For that type of countries like China and India, if that kind of countries customers, if you want to capture, because their economy is growing, the people purchasing power is increasing. If the countries, the companies of these countries want to expand their business, they can target to the customers here directly. So they are the potential buyers now, correct? So that, for that thing, what we can do is to access to the new customer, or China and India again, if I'm taking the same example. So in that countries also we can get the natural resources like labor and all in cheaper cost to access that also, and you can diversify your risk. Uh, if your country is facing recession, or if your country sales are down in certain cases, you can always target to the developing country, developing economies, to sell your product. So that's how your competitive advantage will be achieved. Okay, so this is what I was talking about competitive competition in the international market. Okay, so to face the competition in the industry, if other firms are entering international market, if they are taking the competitive advantage via lowering the cost, or via diversifying the business risk, or via accessing the new customers in the developing economy, so you have to face that competition. And to sustain your company in the industry, you have to take the international marketing, and you have to go international in your company. Next one is regional economic and political integration. So I was talking about regional economic and political integration means, like, there are some trade blocks are there, like there is Asian, okay, so Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Okay, all these association, there are 10 nations in the Southeast Association nations, and NAFTA, like North American Free Trade Agreement. Okay, so there are three, like, if before NAFTA had come, Canada and USA were doing trade, but after NAFTA trade bloc created, Mexico also they have included in that, a developing country of Mexico, two developed countries, Canada and United States of America, they together thought to develop even Mexico also, and the geographical integration also makes the free trade easy. So these kind of regional and economical integration, political integration will help us in going international. That will motivate us. Okay, so now American countries and Canadian countries can do business in, a Mexican country, or any other geographical integration or regional integration. If you are talking about, we can take an advantage of tariffs, barriers, exemption of tariffs, exemption of barriers, okay, safety regulations, import taxes, okay, minimizing of import taxes. So these trade blocks will, deregulation of this policies. So this will help us in, to impact on globalization. So this is the time. This saves the time, cost, and complexity of doing business. So when we see that it is not so much complex, or it is not so much costly to go international, because our regional economic integration or our trade blocks are helping us in doing the business inside our trade, which is they are exempting the tax, they are reducing the cost of entry, if they are reducing, if you are eradicating some kind of policies. So that time what will happen, why can't I take advantage of this, and I can sell not only in my country, also in these integration countries which are inside the trade blocks, like that. Okay, next one is technology. So we all know that technology, how it is worldwide, it is, the world market has become a global market now because of technology. There is a fast growing technology. Today one technology is there, another 3-4 months the technology will become absolute and a new technology will come. So by because of internet, we can say internet has changed the way of doing business, right? So what happened, this phenomena of global village has made everybody to go global, like brands like, you can say, Nike, Coke, Levi's. These are the international brands, so it considers these customers as a globally. Okay, it segments its customers globally. So this technology would help uh, in meeting the consumer needs. Okay, like Amazon, Flipkart, there's some examples of technology oriented marketing, digital marketing, what you say. So these are like, they are making our transportation and all those things easier. Okay, this technology, like, whenever you want the product, you can immediately access that product within few days, right? It is not like it has to be, we have to wait for so long. And the technology has minimized the cost of all those doing business, like by using the electronic devices and the internet. Okay, so technology is also, the developing technology has also made us to it is that one of the driving forces, that it is when I have a such a technology where I can reach from one corner of a world to another corner of a world. A customer can order my product. A customer can get delivered of my product. So to use such kind of technology, we will think of that is also one force which will make us go international. Okay, then improvements in transportation and telecommunication. So students, this is also one kind of benefit of this technical era, I can say. So new internet based low cost communication methods like emailing or app related marketing, so app related selling, uh, these all are these are the benefits which are we are getting from telecommunication sector. So the customer can order within a by using his mobile phone or any digital gadget to do online shopping these days. And there is a development in the transportation of the product and services uh, from the one corner of a globe to another corner of a globe. So there are nowadays there are many planning in managing air traffic and planning in managing sea routes. So because of this technological development, it is becoming easy to transport the product from one border to transport it, especially from overseas market. What we say, it is easy to cross the seas now, which was not that before 5 decades ago or 2 3 decades ago. It was not that easy to transport the products to required by required customers. So they used to wait for almost a longer time. Now it is they are not waiting for a longer time. Okay. Because we have certain kind of facilities which is again a gift of a technology. Okay, so that's why what internet based communication had made us to trade across the different parts of the world. So as a result, customer within the national market are able to buy same kind of product. A product which is available in the United States is the product which can be availed in India also. Okay, so that's kind of improvement is happening. So that's why the companies will think of that might force the companies to make you go international. The next one is economic growth. I was telling, like countries like India and China, they are developing economies. So those developing economics will for to capture that income, a growing income. So when the income is growing, when per capita income is growing, so what happens? The people want to buy more. Okay, in the last class I was talking about this IKEA and Starbucks, right? So these companies, what they have done to capture the income, the growth of income, what they have done, they wanted to get into the Starbucks and IKEA, right? So what they have done to get into the to capture the growing population and the income of the that particular country, like India, Brazil, or China. So these are developing countries, right? So their economy is growing, people per capita income is growing, people are ready to spend on the products and services. They are making their lifestyle better. So for that kind of in that situation, this kind of brands which will be accepted by the any developing countries. Okay, to capture that, what they will do, they will start the they will think of like going an American country or a French company or an Italian company. They think of going international. Okay, because they know that uh, this economy of the particular company country is growing, so they are the potential customer. They will buy our product and services. So what they do to capture that opportunity advantage, they will go to the economic. They will make the economic, they will go to the new markets, okay, new developing countries market. Okay, next one is transition to market economy. So this is kind of similar to what we say. Now people are ready to buy, like a China, if you say, or if you say India. So they are like they want to buy the products, correct? So now economy is in a transition. It is in a transition period where we were buying only necessary things which are, we can afford. So now economy is shifting to the people can think of not only buying the necessary things, they can even afford the things which are, maybe not necessary to them, because they want to have it. They want to have the feeling of possession of that product or services. So the transition of economy which is taking place, like the markets are opening, like Egypt has opened its market. That time, many American companies entered the market, and they have, gained the customers there. So the economy in the transition now. Okay, so this to to capture this potential customers worldwide, what they are doing is we can sell to the customers who can afford now. Okay, so the economy is shifted from only we are buying to the product, we are sticking to the product and services which is necessary to us. Okay, which is which I think it is only in my budget. It has shifted, it has transited to the economy where I can have a product and services which just might not be a necessary product for me, but I want to have a possession of that product. Okay, so economy is economy is in the transition in the entire world. Like developing countries are, other income are growing. So to capture that advantage, we can make the with this international business is very useful for the companies. Next, converging customer needs. So this point, say for example, I was giving an example of customer consumer needs. So you have some kind of product or services which is required in the entire world, but it couldn't be fulfilled by their local companies. In that such case, you can you can sell your product or services. Okay, like I was giving example of spices, and I was giving example of this art products, what we are saying. So thus this kind of products or services, we can make use, we can sell it because we have that, see here. Okay, this kind of products India is famous for. So to make use of this products, if you are producing, if you are an organic farming company where you are producing goods, the goods related to spices. Okay, you are a exporter of spices. At that time, the customers in the entire world are in the need of spice. Okay, what you can do, you are taking an advantage of natural resources or a skill with the expertise skill what you have. So you are taking advantage of that, and you're going you're you want to take the advantage of that, and you want to sell that product, and you want to fulfill the needs of the customer. Okay, there are many agriculture related product, or many cottage industry product, or we can always, if you are producing a unique kind of product which has a differentiated characteristics from other products. So to fulfill the needs of the maybe the customers in the globe are in the requirement of that kind of characteristics or a future of a product. If you are producing that kind of products, so you can to make utilization of that requirement of the customer, you can always uh, sell your products, like how IBM, IKEA. So these are some examples of how they are making customers, global customers as their own customers, where they have standardized product and services. Okay, so they have global delivery products and supply and services of this product they are giving. They have a uniform characteristics of goods and which they are delivering. So always customer is in need of that kind of product, so we can always try to fulfill those products. We can fulfill the needs of the customer. So this is the drives of going. What are the forces which makes the companies to go in international marketing? Why they want to participate in international business? These are the some points we can always remember. Okay, that is competition, regional economic and political integration, technology, improvements in transportation and telecommunication, economic growth, transition to market economy. Last one is converging consumer needs. Okay. Next, we will see in the next slide. We will see the participants in international marketing. Okay. So, what do you mean by participate in international marketing? Okay. These are the major participants. And say there are four participants we can see here. The first one is focal firms. Second one is distribution channel and intermediaries. Third one is facilitator. Fourth one is government. Okay. So these are the four major participants in international marketing. It is not like if you want to do business in international market, or if you want to make your company as international company or multinational company, that you can make a you yourself you can go international. So there must be a help, there must be some methodology, there must be a process to go international. So what will happen in this class, I'm going to explain to you which are the major participants which will help you and which are the part of your international going international. Okay, they're part of their support system of you making your international business. Okay, a success story. Okay, now first we will see the focal firms. Okay, so international business is it is a complex thing. It is not like how we do it in domestic market. It is a different and it is a complex than the business doing in international, which we have seen that why it is complex and all we have discussed in the our previous classes. So it requires the numerous organizations to help the company to work together as a coordination. So the various organizations should coordinate these companies. Okay, so they have to contribute in a various type. They have to contribute in a various types of. They have to give their expertise, whichever the organization or whichever the company you are coordinating with. They have to facilitate your international business. Okay, that is what these participants are about. I'm talking about. So they will facilitate, they will coordinate, and they will support your international business. Okay, so who are those? There are four people I was talking about. Focal firms. Second one is distribution channel intermediaries. Third one is facilitators. Fourth one is government. Okay, first let us see focal firms. So what is this focal firms are about? So focal firms are the initiator of an international business transaction, like your subsidiaries, what I was talking. Okay, subsidiaries in the other different countries where you can have your own marketing mix and you have your own international marketing strategy which is applicable to that particular company. Okay, so I have given your example as MNEs, multinational enterprise, or and SMEs, small and medium enterprises. We can say small sized enterprises or medium sized enterprises is SMEs. Okay, so multinational enterprise or multinational companies, MNCs or MNEs, they will be used like that. So these focal firms are they will prepare your interior design of your business. Okay, the transaction that from the conception, designing, and selling your product. These kind of things will be done by these multinationals. Like this is an example where we were discussing in the concepts of international marketing, like how a subsidiary will operate, like it will do the marketing research of that particular country where the subsidiary is there. Say for example, an American company is having a subsidiary in Indian company. So Indian multinational, what we say multinational, right? So this multinational company will have a separate marketing mix for the Indian subsidiary, right? The Indian subsidiary will conceive the idea of product. Okay, it's do the marketing research, it's conceive the idea of the product, it designs the product, and it takes care of the selling and expansion of the product, right? So these focal firms are like multinational enterprise or small and medium size enterprises. So they will help your company in doing international marketing. Okay, so how these companies are shares the some are private, completely private companies, some are publicly owned companies also will some owned by government companies also will help us in doing the business, in promoting your exports, in promoting your product. Okay, next one is distribution channel intermediary. Now think that you have a business, you want to sell your product. Okay, which will play the important role? This one, logistics, right? So your firm has to be think about taking help, or taking help of a facilitator, taking logistic providers, or the people who can transport my product. Okay, the people who are can work as a support system to my business. Okay, so distribution channel intermediary is a they are the firms, they are specialized firms. Okay, they carry out the variety of logistics business, like you in domestic you can see Ashok Leyland. Okay, you can see VRL. So these are the people who are carrying out the logistics, right? They are not only in a providing transportation facility to the general public, they are also the major playing major role in transportation of these goods and services, goods or products. Sorry. Okay, so they have the they provide the variety of logistics and marketing services, right? So what focal firms has to do? This focal firms has to seek. For example, American company is selling its goods and services in Indian company, so it has its headquartered in. They have a subsidiary in Delhi, but the product has to reach to South India also. So the focal firms, that MNC multinational company which is situated in Delhi, it can seek the help of this people who are providing the services in logistics to make their product reach to the entire India. Okay, so that is what they are doing. So what they do, the intermediaries such as distributors, sales representative, so they typically locate in the foreign market and provide the distribution and marketing services on behalf of the focal firm. Okay, so what they do, they'll provide this distribution of goods and services to the on behalf of these people, uh, until they take care that will reach to a retail shop, or that will reach to a distributor, or that might reach to directly a customer. So they will these people will make it possible, distribution channels and intermediaries. Okay, they may be a sales representative or a distributor or a wholesaler. So it is again a chain of what logistics chains, what we call distribution channels, what we say, for one tier, two tier, three tier distribution channel, whatever the distribution channel are there, they will help in making sure that the your product or services are reaching to a customer. Okay, uh, so these people are they have their firms, they are independent. They're independent business. Okay, they won't come under these people unless they have their own distribution channel. Okay, if they're outsourcing the distribution channel means they'll work as an independent. They will charge the fees from these people. Okay, next, going forward, next slide is facilitators. Okay, third participant is facilitators. So what the facilitators are? The facilitator are the firms, or he can be an individual who has a specialized expertise, uh, like your legal advisor, your financial advisor, banks, uh, customs clearance agencies, or some kind of logistic, even freight logistics. So these people are called as a facilitators. Okay, uh, or a person who's conducting a market research on behalf of your company. So these people are the facilitators. They facilitate your international business. Okay, by advising you legally, like what are the legal obligations you have to follow. It differentiate from country to country, right? So they have to think about, they will give you the guidance legally to operate in different countries. They will make you a bank formalities like payment, receipt of your bills, clearing your bills, or your custom clearance, or taking any market research activity on behalf of you. Or they can give you the logistics, finance support, by like hedging your risks and all. So these kind of people are the facilitators. Without the facilitators, we cannot do the international business. Okay, because you have to understand the legal obligation. You have to have your documentation. You have to before entering into the market, before serving to the customer, you have to have the marketing research of that particular country. Okay, you have to have the receipt and payment methods. So who can help you in this? So these people will support you in doing the international business. Okay, the last one is government. Very important. Government will always help you in doing international business. It is not like government is how it will help, how government has become a part of your this thing. So we are talking about government. So how government will play an important role, how it will act as a participant in international business. So government sometimes act as a supplier, government will act as a buyer, government will act as definitely a regulator. Okay, how government will act as a supplier or a buyer? Say for example, if you think about the food grains and say this farming industry, so many times government of the many government in many countries, government will buy those food grains, and all exports, take exports from the grains, and it will supply to the inside its organization. Okay, and it regulates the international. In regulation, definitely government plays an important role. It regulates the international business terms and conditions, right? So in many countries like China, say for example Russia and Brazil, these countries, there are government is having a major stake in the this corporate sector companies. So they run by the majorly, they have the major stakes, and government companies are there in their business. If you see their business environment, there are major government companies are there. Okay, it is not like India or United States, that there are many private companies which are operating. So government is having a almost major stake in all of the industry sectors and all of the companies like Russia, China, and Brazil. Okay, so these people, what they will do, because they are the part of the business now, they will regulate, they will have a control and have a stake in the every business, the companies which are running in the country. Okay, so that time, what will happen? The government also has an important role. But the countries like United States and India, where government is not having a major stake in each and every industry, but there are some companies, it is run by the government, and some major companies are run by the private corporates. Okay, there they will act as a regulators. Okay, in certain industries, for a certain particular kind of products, it acts as a supplier and it acts as a buyer also. Okay, it buys from the other country and it supplies inside the country. Okay, so this is how the government is making. And the governments in advanced economies, like it may be France, uh, Sweden. So what they will do, even they have the major ownership in banking, telecommunication, okay, the natural resources, like India also having a major stakes in banking, telecommunication, and in telecommunication it is not having major in India, but yes, it is. There are major government companies are operating in telecommunication. But banking in India is majorly run by the government, and natural resources, it is under the in India also it is under government itself. So in that kind of where what will happen? So these countries were less affected by the 2008 recession time, because the government has stepped up to help the people of the country, and they did not make us to feel the heat of the recession. Okay, so that is how the government will help us. It acts as a supplier for buyer, and definitely regulator. Okay, so for particular products, it will buy and it will supply inside the country, and it acts as a regulator also. Okay, so these are the four major participants which we were discussing, that focal firms, distribution channels. So what focal firms, distribution channels? So these four these are the four major participants in the international marketing: facilitator, government, focal firms, and distribution channel intermediaries. So what it says that, so they have to coordinate and cooperate, and they have to work as a part of an international business. Okay. So what international business transaction always requires a participation from all these four people. It is not like one person, a focal firm can do entire thing, or without help of a distribution channel, or without help of a government, or without help of a facilitator, a bank, or a custom clear agency. Okay, so what they have to do, they have to act in a coordinated manner. Correct? They have to coordinate each other. They have to support the international business. So these focal firms, intermediaries, facilitator, government. So these all working closely together to make international business, any international business, successful. So these activities of all these four group of participants sometimes overlap. Like sometimes this multinational can take a marketing research activity itself. Okay, it cannot be by a facilitator has to do it. It is not like that. So we have given here marketing research can be outsourced from the facilitator. Sometimes the focal firm can also do the marketing research activity. In some organization, they might have their own transportation facility, their own logistic facility. So according to the nature of business and according to the coverage, what is the ability and capacity of the that particular firm, according to that, the other things, maybe one firm, one multinational organization might have its own distribution channel, but it does not have its custom clearance agency, or it does not have any legal advisor. So it can outsource the legal advising or customer clearance. It can take its marketing research by itself, and it can take it benefit. It can use its own distribution channel, but it can outsource these two: custom clearance and legal advisory. Okay, so it depends on the nature of the business, and it depends on the capacity of the business, what kind of activity is it can completely taken care of, or it can outsource the certain kind of activities. Okay, so the focal firms, what they will do, certain activities they will uh, have to take care of themselves, and they can delegate, which is not possible from them. They can delegate to the intermediaries or facilitators, or it can take the help of government in certain kind of products. Okay, we can say that the firms, these multinational firms, will become clients to our domestic distribution channels company, a domestic facilitator, and it will become a client of government also. Okay, the focal firm will become a customer to these three people. Okay, because the focal firm is a multinational organization, a multinational subsidiary which is situated in our country. Okay, so this is about today's class. So to summarize it, first we have discussed forces of international marketing. We have discussed these points, 7 points in the forces, 7 forces which makes international business an attractive thing to everyone, why firms want to enter the international market. Then we have seen the participants in international marketing. Okay, there are 4 participants. So focal firms, distribution channel intermediaries, facilitators, and governments. Okay, so this is all about today's class.